and good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Ralph's Opinion Show. My name is Ralph Williams. I am the host of the Ralph's Opinion Show. And yeah, what do you want to talk about? And let me talk to you tonight. We have a lot to talk about. I am the revolutionary. I am the visionary. I am Ralph Williams. Acknowledge me, as you just heard there. All right. And tonight we have a lot to talk about. President Trump and the good, the bad, and the ugly. And believe me, it's ugly. There's a lot of ugliness out there with President Trump right now. We're going to talk about the Epstein files, which I'm getting tired of hearing about. And I'm getting a lot of criticism because people don't understand. I don't want to hear about the Epstein files anymore. And I understand there's victims out there, and I get there was some injustice may be done. I don't, you know what I mean? That's, to me, that's old news. The man killed himself. He's gone. He's done. Leave everything alone. This all started when they try to go after President Trump. And, so that's, that's my thoughts today. That's Ralph's opinion tonight on the Epstein files. All right. We have a lot to talk about tonight. And tonight here, and I'm doing it on all my radio shows, both in Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and the Delmarva region. Tonight, I'm beating up Morgan Wallen. And if a lot of you don't know who Morgan Wallen is a country western singer. This past Saturday, Morgan Wallen decided to cancel his concert for Saturday night due to what he perceived as, which of course was true. There were bad thunderstorms, rain in the outlying counties, not in Pittsburgh or Allegheny County. All right. 6 tornadoes were reported. I get that. But here's the whole kicker of them all. You canceled the show. You didn't notify local officials. You didn't notify the county officials up in Pittsburgh because he was in Pittsburgh for 2 shows. And he didn't notify the venue that he was going to cancel the show. He got in an airplane and he disappeared, did none of the such. What he did do, though, was he got on his social media platform and decides at the last minute to tell everybody that he decided to cancel the show due to inclement weather. There were people in Pittsburgh who spent money on hotel rooms, concert tickets, and whatnot to go to Acrisure Stadium and find out that Morgan Wallen wasn't performing. Okay? Now, coming up in July, Baltimore, first, in the middle of July, Philadelphia at the end of July, into August 1st. All right? And we're here at Studio 10 in Berlin, Maryland. So anyone that has tickets that's going to the Baltimore show, you better be careful because Morgan Wallen might get too drunk after the first show. He might have a problem with somebody and assault them and beat them up. On TMZ, take a look at TMZ's website. There's a thing there with Morgan Wallen about how he slapped the cell phone out of a stagehand's hand. Now, that stagehand was hired by him or the firm that does his business with this, okay, was hired to do this. So that's something that he should have never have done. So what he did was he decided he's going to slap the phone out of his hand. Now, this guy filed an assault report with the Pittsburgh police or the Allegheny County Sheriff's Department or whatever. All right. That's probably another reason why Morgan Wallen got out of Dodge. And I understand he went out and he partied, got a little too sloshed, and claims he really couldn't do the show. So he used weather as an excuse. Now, he claims his people went to the National Weather Service and checked out what the forecast was and found out that it was, that kind. Yep. How are you? It's good to have you on the show tonight. Thank you. All right. We got Connor Edwards. Who are you? Who am I? I'm Ralph Williams. I'm the revolutionary. I'm the visionary. This is Ralph's opinion. That's who I am. Okay. So you want to know who I am? You want to know what show you're watching? You're watching the Ralph's Opinion Show. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X, and we're also on the Kick Network. You can catch me also on my social media platforms, as well as all right. Well, that's right. I am speaking my mind tonight about Morgan Wallen. I warned everybody on the Ralph Williams show. I warned on the radio. I warned everybody. I am going after, personally going to go, and I'm going to call out Morgan Wallen. You know, I don't live in Pittsburgh anymore. I moved. I live in Berlin, Maryland. But Pittsburgh is still in my heart. It's still my home. Was my home at one time. There are reasons why I moved out of Pittsburgh. A couple different reasons, okay? Many reasons, 10 reasons. And I have a top 10 on that. It's on my Ralph's Opinion show. Go back to my archives from May of last year. Okay? The top 10 reasons why I left Pittsburgh. All right? It's there. And the main reason was because I was being mistreated by the media. Crime, public safety, treat me like a redhead stepchild, city politics not doing anything, county politics not doing anything. I just got out. I needed a change of pace. Had to get out. Okay? But Pittsburgh, when you screw over people with tickets and hotels and food and everything that they put into the money they put in to go to see Morgan Wallen, and there were people, I have friends down here whose daughters had tickets to go to see Morgan Wallen on Friday night. And fortunately for them, they didn't have tickets for the Saturday night show, or they would have really been in trouble. I wouldn't say in trouble, but they would have lost money. And good luck trying to get your money back from Ticketmaster. Good luck with that. Okay? That's right, Morgan Wallen. I'm calling you out tonight because what you did was wrong. And then you failed to notify local officials, failed to notify the stadium. You put signs up all around Acrisure Stadium, but you didn't bother to go to the venue people that run the venue and say, I'm canceling tonight. You got in a jet and you left, and you put flyers up all over the stadium. People had to find out by that. Then you put some BS social media story saying that I had to do this and this, or it was weather, the National Weather Service, my people, my stage thing would have got destroyed or whatever, 80-mile-an-hour winds. Okay, but at least you could have notified local officials. And you shouldn't have slapped that cell phone out of that guy's hand when you paid him to do that. It's on TMZ. It's all over the place, Morgan. It's everywhere. You can't get out of this. People filmed it. They saw it with their own eyes. You slapped the cell phone because the guy was filming. He worked for your stage people. You ordered him to do this, but then you slapped the cell phone out of his hand. What, were you drunk? All right. You know, I said this. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad God invented YouTube, because you know why? I would never go to a concert, another stadium concert ever again. Ever. Okay? Never again. Ever. All right? It's that simple. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. We got a couple people here tuning in. Let's see what we got here. I don't know. For some reason, the moon is, or the, yeah. All right. Yeah, the moon is fake. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. We got them out tonight. The moon is fake. There we go. All right. The sun is a projection. There we go. Thanks for the weather report, by the way. All right. The car, yeah, I get it. I get it all. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Jeez. Oh my. Thank you very much for all that. All right. Okay. But my question to you tonight, would you buy a Morgan Wallen ticket again and go see Morgan Wallen? Or are you going to turn your tickets in? Are you going to get a refund? Are you not going to the show? No. You know why? Because you spent too much money on it. You know why? Because you don't care. That's why. It could happen to you. He has 2 shows in Baltimore, 2 shows in Philly, 2 shows practically everywhere in the United States. And what? Because he's drunk? He slapped the cell phone out of somebody's hand, and they decided to file a police report for assault and sue you, possibly? You're going to get out of Dodge? Okay. All right. I get the weather was bad. There you go. Pensman said it correctly. Thank you, Pensman. Don't forget to tune into his stuff. Pensman Sports. Pensman covers the Penguins, the Pittsburgh Penguins. He covers the New York Yankees, the NBA playoffs, that kind of thing. He puts out a lot of shorts on his YouTube channel, Facebook page. Please like and subscribe to Pensman Sports. All right. Come on, I want to hear from Morgan Wallen fans here, man. I'm going after your disciple, the guy that you spent money on to go to a show, and he stuck it to you. He stuck it to you up in Pittsburgh. He stuck it to you. Not just the people of Pittsburgh, but folks who came in from out of town, just like I gave you an example of my friends whose daughters went up there. Okay? But they had tickets for Friday night show, not Saturday night show. But see, you don't care about that stuff. You don't care that Morgan Wallen lies. He said he talked to local officials. He did not. The Mayor, Corey O'Connor, of Pittsburgh Mayor, Allegheny County Executive Sarah Amarato, and the public safety officials from both the county and the city of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County and the state of Pennsylvania, the state police and Acrisure Stadium were not notified. So, if you believe what Morgan Wallen says, there's something wrong with you. All right? And I'm going to use the Darius Rucker thing as something, and you still support him. Darius Rucker, a few years back, came out and said, no, there'll never be another Hootie tour. Hootie and I were done. But I can't go back to country music, and he said this all in the same interview. I can't go back to country music because country music didn't welcome me like I thought they would. So he didn't sell the records he thought he was going to sell, or he didn't get it's kind of like me with the media in Pittsburgh, that kind of thing. Okay. But see, there's one difference. I did something about it, and I still have shows on in Pittsburgh because I'm trying to conquer up there. I'm trying to show them you might have chased me out of the city, but you didn't chase me off the air. Okay. So let me use this here. This is what Darius Rucker said. And I quote, this is exactly what he said. Okay. All right. He said, Morgan Wallen isn't that good. No, I don't think he is. The only song I know from him is Whiskey Glasses. Because when I used to DJ and doing parties and weddings and stuff up in Pittsburgh and whatnot, I used to get requests for it. And I've played it a few times too. So, I mean, that's the only song I really know from him. I haven't followed anything else from him. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you for the comment. Appreciate it. All right. But let me ask you this. Morgan Wallen's coming to a town near you. Are you going? So Darius Rucker here, and let me get back to this. I got a little sidetracked here. Happens all the time. Darius Rucker, a few years ago, was interviewed by, I believe it was Entertainment Tonight or Inside Edition or one of them, or TMZ. I can't remember which one it was. Oh, I ain't going back to Hootie. No, country music, no. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do either one. So then he was on HGTV doing a home remodeling show like Rob Van Winkle, known as Vanilla Ice, was doing. Okay. And remember, he got in trouble for that. He supposedly got accused of stealing copper. I don't know if it happened, but I guess that didn't work out for Darius. So he ended up, I seen him last year, not this past New Year's Eve, the New Year's Eve prior, when he had said he was never going back. Now, I can't recall if he was at the Nashville celebration in 25's New Year's Eve celebration in Nashville, country thing. I think he was. Okay. All right. So you lied, Darius Rucker, and you all go out and buy his CDs and buy his tickets and go to his shows and cheer him on and clap, 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 because you have no morals. The fact of the matter is the man lied. Morgan Wallen lied. He lied to Pittsburgh. He lied to the fans. He stole your money. He didn't bother to even. I worked the Taylor Swift show. They had bad thunderstorms that night. The opening acts canceled. They had to cancel out the opening acts. Taylor Swift still played. They waited for the storms to go away. The storms did. Still a little bit of lightning in the sky, a couple sprinkles here and there. They put the show on. 90 minutes she played. She normally plays for about two, maybe 3 hours. And she has some opening acts. But the opening acts, again, could not play because it rained. Okay? That's what Taylor Swift's people did. Why couldn't Morgan Wallen do that? You understand what I'm saying? Okay? But here's the problem. Again, I'm going to go back to this. America doesn't care. Nobody cares about what happens to somebody else until it happens to you. Okay? That's like I've been talking about these juvenile takeovers all over the place, at least down here in Berlin, Ocean City, Salisbury, all these communities down here. We got our grip on it. We're nipping it in the butt. Pittsburgh isn't. Baltimore isn't. None of these cities are because you got progressives running your city. Salisbury does too, but Salisbury got a grip on the situation. Okay? Does your city have a grip on the juvenile takeover thing? You know why? Because progressives don't care about that. Progressive judges keep letting juveniles out on home detention instead of putting them in jail, instead of putting the parents in jail, instead of doing something. I did a thing on my Philly show today. Well, actually, not my Philly show today. Next Monday, I'm doing a special on 620 KHB, where on my Ralph Williams show from 2 to 3 p.m. I'm talking about juvenile. Is talking to these juveniles the right thing to do? No, it's not. It's not the right thing to do. Put them in jail. Find old school buildings. Put them in jail. Put the parents in jail. 3 strikes program. First, your parent gets a fine. Or, I'm sorry, a warning. Then a fine. The third time that he appears in a courtroom with their child in regards to something that they've done, jail. You get it? Jail. We have to step up as a country and do something about this juvenile takeover problem. If we don't, we're going to have big problems. All right? And we have them now because we have too many progressives in our cities. And you, as a voter, ought to be ashamed of yourself for continuing to put these people in here. And how many times have I said it? And I'll say it again, and this time I'm going to use the juveniles. What would happen if the juveniles that these judges that you let happen put these juveniles back out on the street or send them home to their parents who don't give a crap? Okay? So what happens then? You go ahead and you send them home and they do the same thing again. And then they come to your house and steal your car and rob your house and break in and assault your grandma or rob your grandfather or rob somebody in your family or kill them. What are you going to say then? You should say nothing because you caused it. You're the fault for this. You, the voter. The people who put these people in here. Get them out. If they don't do something, out. It's that simple. It's not a hard thing. But see, no one in this country understands that. And that's why we are where we are today in our country. All right. I'm getting a little disgusted here. And, I got egg on my face. I'm the one who voted President Trump. This war in Iran, I thought we would obliviate them. I thought we were going to tear them apart. I thought us and Israel, despite the fact NATO didn't bother to help us out, despite the fact we had some other countries that have. And now we keep waiting for Iran to give us a peace accord. President Trump, it's not working. And it's breaking down our country. There was an economics expert on who put a report on national news today. If this war doesn't end soon and we go into a recession, if you think nobody's buying anything now, if you think people are not going to restaurants, if you think people who make fur coats, jewelry, and sell cars and all that other stuff are having it rough now, it's going to get worse. Okay? This war has to end with the United States and Israel taking out Iran. Because if we don't take Iran out, there's going to be big problems. All right? We have to take out Iran. They are not going to surrender. It's just like Vietnam. And the leader, Khomeini or Kabuki or whatever his name is, okay? He came out and he said this could turn into another Vietnam for the United States because we're not surrendering. Everybody remember Vietnam when we kept bombing Hanoi and bombing Hanoi and bombing and bombing and bombing and bombing and bombing? And what did they do? They just got stronger. They came after us. And when they embarrassed our country, they embarrassed our military. Okay? We thought we had it all. We thought our doo-doo didn't stink. And look what happened. So we're doing the same thing here. But we underestimated the enemy yet again. And look what's going on now. We're getting burned. We are seriously getting burned here. All right. Okay. Trumpflation, Chuck Schumer should shut up. I mean, he's, I'm not going to go there with him. Trumpflation is getting worse and worse. It is. Right now it is, yes. Okay. This war has to end. And the United States should not, and I repeat, should not accept any kind of peace agreement from Iran because there is no peace agreement. They need to stop Iran from making nuclear weapons. They need to go into Iran, take the country over, invade it, just like they did Iraq. That's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to withdraw the government. They're going to have to do something. They can't sit around and wait and wait and wait. And then President Trump comes on. He goes, "Well, I spoke to Netanyahu, and we, the Israeli Prime Minister, and we decided we're going to, come up with a peace agreement. They're supposed to sign it, but then they don't want to sign it. Then they want the hour for Moose, and then they go shoot one of our helicopters down. Take them out. Take them all out. Okay, take them out." Take them out. Okay? It's not that hard. I think we can do it. I think Israel helping us can do it. But I personally believe that this is going to this war needs to end now. I wanted this war because I wanted Iran to be taken out. I didn't expect it to drag on and on and on. We got troops over there. We don't know what we're doing yet. We're still standing by. We're doing this, and this, and we got this ship going there. We got that ship going on. We got tanks being made in China. We got all this other, because we don't have manufacturing plants for them. We got this, that, and whatever. Okay? Don't poke the bear. You poked Iran, you poked the bear. And I get it. Iran's dangerous. Okay? All right? You should know better when you poke the bear, who was President Trump. Then the bear growls and the bear comes after you. Iran is now coming after the United States because the United States came after them. And if you thought they were going to go down easily because President Trump says so, there we go. All right. I wanted this war. I did because I wanted Iran out. I want them taken out. 50 years or more of nothing but tyranny. I mean, what more can you say? They're a dangerous country supported by Russia. And if we back down this time like we did in Afghanistan, pulled that ugly pullout that Joe Biden had, the ugly Vietnam pullout, the ugly Iraq pullout, we do another ugly, ugly pullout and just leave it the way it is, like we've done in the past with some of these other things, wars. The United States is in trouble down the road. Your future and mine and everyone else's is down the road. So that's Ralph's opinion tonight on that. We'll get to the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump coming up in a few. All right. It's coming up in about 15 minutes here. Okay. Let's talk about Social Security for a minute. I've been telling you. And you still don't care. See, this is what I mean. You don't care that your grandma, that your aunt, that your cousin, that somebody in your family may not have Social Security after 2033. And that affects me too. That affects my family. That affects friends. That affects that's what it affects. 2033, Social Security will be dried up. You know why? Because nobody wants to work. That's what the problem is. We don't have enough people paying into Social Security working. That's what the problem is. Now, I get it. And, I thought it was all the American lazy bums. No, it's not. The employers are at fault for some of this stuff. Okay? Employers are just as at fault as the American lazy worker. All right? And I get some employers that can't pay a lot of money. That's how they make money. All right? You know what the number one cost in business is? Labor. Labor is number one. I learned that in my 35 years of customer service. Labor is number one. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Good evening to you as well. Thank you for tuning in. Every Wednesday night, we're here, 7:30, Ralph's Opinion Show. All right? Call your friend, call your cousin, call somebody, get them here watching this program. I am the revolutionary. I am the visionary. And I want you to acknowledge me as that. Okay? Social Security is going to dry up, everybody. And your future, my future, and everyone else's future is going to go straight down the drain because you don't want to work. Social Security works when you work and contribute to Social Security. That's how it works. Well, I'm not on Social Security, so I don't care. When you need it, and it'll be there for you, it will not because you didn't want to work. It's that simple. I have not, thank you. I've not watched the Project Hail Mary movie yet. No, I have not. I've been busy with some things, haven't had time to really get into a movie at this point. Okay? But Social Security now, 2033. All right? Come on. Get up and work if you can. All right? I've brought up many times about how I watch nomads on YouTube, and nomads are people who live in their vehicles. It's cheaper to go out and buy a van or an old U-Haul truck or a moving truck or a bus or whatever, or an airplane, and make it into your own home. Buy some small little piece of property somewhere and put it there. Or just get yourself a van or an RV. RV sales are up sky high now because people don't want to pay the high rent. And you could take that RV and you can travel all across the country. You could see different things without having to get on an airplane or whatever. RV living is not bad living. I know it's small, it's tidy, it's whatever. But if you can save yourself a ton of money and do that, hey, more power to you, man. But I know people who are nomads and they work. They collect a paycheck. Okay? They have a free gym membership at Planet Fitness. They go there and take a shower. They are at the YMCA. They have what is it? A membership. They have their own internet. Okay? They have Netflix or they watch apps and TV and all that stuff. Okay? They have a job. They get paid. Okay? They just don't choose to live that. And I have nothing against landlords, but I have a problem how overinflated everything is in this country. And that's why our inflation is bad. That's why our economy is bad. That's why everything is bad, because everything is expensive. I just bought some cheesesteaks sandwiches. I was told I got 12 mini cheesesteaks. Now, I've bought mini cheesesteaks from other companies, and they were like this. You want to know what these mini cheesesteaks were like? They were like that. I got 12 of them. You know what? I paid $50 for them. $50. And you know what's funny? That's the norm now in this country. More money, less quality, and they want to know why nobody eats out anymore. They want to know why nobody goes to fast food anymore. They want to know why nobody can buy anything anymore because of where we are today with our economy. And the gas prices going up. Of course, everybody jumps and panics. When it rains, they run to go get toilet paper. When it snows, they run to go get toilet paper. When they think that there's going to be a natural disaster, they run and get toilet paper. All right. More people are shopping at Aldi, Walmart, Sam's Clubs, Costco. All right. People, grocery stores, some of the more expensive ones, they got to be more creative now because they're just starting to lose the money because people are not going there anymore. All right. Right now. It's really terrible out there. This economy is bad. People are losing money. Small businesses are taking a big hit because you don't want to work. There's people been in business for 60 years. 60 years. And they had to shut down because they can't find help. Because nobody wants to work. You're still living the COVID lifestyle. I watched a show last night. It's called Can I Evict My Kid? And it's on A&E. It was actually pretty interesting. You want to know about that kid? I'll tell you a good one. Evict the kid because the kid's 28 years old, living at home. Mom wants privacy. She says, I want you out of here. Go get he has a job, but he claims he has a fancy car he makes payments on. But he gives his mother nothing for rent. So you know what he did? She did? She went out and got a lawyer. Made him sign a contract that he has to give this amount of money every month and do this, this, and this. And he thinks it's a joke. He's out there fishing and I'll come and go as I please. And he manipulates his mother. But his mother lets that happen. And that's why we have the arrogance from our kids today, from the young people, because of that. You let it go on. Okay? All right? Yeah, I agree. I agree with this one, Mohammed. I do. I agree with you on AI. AI is a 50-50 thing. And I'm going to tell you a little story about AI. AI will bring jobs. AI will bring tax base to your community. AI may bring you some business to your stores in the small and little communities. But let me give you an example of something here. In Beaver County, Pennsylvania, Shell built a cracker plant. It's a fuel plant or a cracker. I don't know what cracker means, and I don't care. As far as oil or whatever goes, gas, whatever it is, natural gas. Built this big plant there. And they brought people in from out of town because nobody in the community wants to work. The community college went out and started classes so you could work there. Nobody showed up. Good jobs. $50 an hour, $40 an hour, benefits, paid vacation. You don't want to work. So you don't want to pay taxes. So you don't want to contribute to Social Security. You don't want a future pension. No, you don't want that. But anyway, they brought all these people in from out of town. And at the time, I was doing a radio show out in Beaver County on Beaver County Radio, which, if you watch some prior archive broadcasts going back maybe 3 years or so, you will understand what happened there. All right. But I'm not going into it tonight because I don't have time. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, King Muhammad. Okay. I appreciate that. But what I'm saying is that they brought these people in from out of town. They didn't patronize with none of the local businesses, the diners, the candy stores, the bread shop, or the bakeries, the mom and pop stores, the locals, nothing. They went to the big box stores. They went to Walmart. They went to Target. They went to Aldi. They went to all those places. The economy has not helped. It's done nothing. So my question is, how many people will be working in these AI places? For every 280 that work there, Meta or however it's pronounced is laying off 8,000 workers because of AI. So do you see the balance of what I'm saying about AI? AI is replacing everything now. And for what the government gains in your community in taxes, it sucks up water, it sucks up electric, it sucks up whatever. Makes a lot of noise, I'm told. I don't know how it works. I don't care. All right. But you're right. AI is replacing everybody. You know why? Because we're lazy. Why do you think Walmart went out and got self-serve terminals? Because they can't find cashiers. Why do you think grocery stores went and did that a while back? Because nobody wants to work and be a cashier. Why do you think they had robots? They tested robots working at McDonald's because nobody wants to work at McDonald's. Nobody wants to work in this country. And you sit here and you complain about immigrants. Wow, immigrants are cutting grass, and driving trucks, and causing accidents, and doing this and doing that. I don't want that job. I gotta work hard. I don't want that job. I don't want that job. I gotta be out in the sun all day. I don't know if I want to sweat. I don't know if I want that job. I don't know if I want to work weekends and holidays. I want to spend it with my family. Well, so does the rest of the world and everybody else. So does the nurse. So does the bus driver, public bus driver. So does the doctor. So does everybody else. So does the police officer, the security guard, or whoever has to work during holidays. They want to spend time with their family too, but they're there working. We have in this country stuck our foot in our mouth and bite our nose to spite our face. And please, I'm right. That's why there's AI. That's why there's people from India and Pakistan. Hello. Okay. No speak English. You know why? Because we don't want to work. You know why there's immigrants doing jobs? Because we don't want to work. You want to know why there's immigrant truck drivers? Because we don't want to drive a truck. You want to know why there's immigrants picking tomatoes in the middle of Pennsylvania? Back in the early 2000s, the guy was paying $16 an hour, and then $16 an hour was a lot of money to pick tomatoes. Nobody wanted to work. He hired immigrants, and guess what the township did? They kicked him out because he hired immigrants. But and I know somebody owns a daycare. She called me one day and said, she's a friend, speaks broken English. She said to me, "Thank you. I am goddamn right. Thank you for that comment. You are correct that I am right." Okay. This lady I know owns a daycare. She hired me to DJ her son's graduation party. She said, Ralph, she says, I have a daycare. I say, yeah, I know. She says, Ralph, I work 18-hour days, Ralph. She says, it's bad out here. She says, I can't get nobody to work. Nobody wants to work. I interviewed this girl. First thing she did, she come into my place. She sit down. She said, I don't work weekends. I don't work holidays. I told her to get lost. How dare you come into an interview and do that? See, that's where it comes down to bad parenting. It comes down to America sticks their foot in their mouth. It comes down to we bite our nose to spite our face. It comes down to we're our own worst enemy. It comes down to all of this. That's why we have AI. That's why we have self-serve checkout. And I know what you're saying. Well, the companies, they don't want to pay benefits. I know grocery stores that are unionized. I know convenience stores, the Sheetz family. They pay $18 an hour, and they give you benefits. They start you out at $12 an hour, and within 2 years, you could be up to $18 an hour to work in a convenience store, and they give you benefits. But you're going to complain when you go to McDonald's, and there's nobody there, and they got a kiosk. And you got to go up there, and you got to tap that little button. And somebody comes from around the back of the partition there that's behind the counter and brings your food out. Why? Because nobody wanted to work at McDonald's. Why? Because nobody showed up for work. Why? Because you complained there was an immigrant there. Why? Because you got mad because old grandma's still working there. Why? Because you complained about, you don't want to come to work. Okay? You don't want to pay for food. You want to steal. Why? You want to get ignorant with customers. Why? You don't want to come in groomed properly. Why? Listen to a song by Leonard Skinner. This ain't my America. It's not. Not anymore. Not anymore. That's why there's AI. That's why there's self-serve checkout. That's why there's robots at McDonald's in Texas. They're experimenting with it. Because we don't want to work. And when there's nothing out there no more for anybody, I don't want to hear it. And if the Lord brings me up to him and you come up to see us, I don't want to hear it because you did it to yourself. And America did it to itself. And that's Ralph's opinion tonight. The good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. We're going to get into that in a minute here. Okay? The good was he showed up at a Knicks game and watched a couple Knicks games. That's a good idea, okay? But the bad part about it was he fell asleep at the game. It was so boring, he fell asleep. Oh, my. Okay? I mean, he simply fell asleep. All right? Oh, my. So, that was the bad part of that. The good part is, like I said, he showed up for the game. That was the bad part. Okay? So, the ugly part is this Iran war and the economy. It's not getting any better. Okay? All right? It's not getting any better. All right, let's get going here. The good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump. I just gave you the good. He went to a Knicks game. The bad part about it was he fell asleep at the Knicks game. The ugly part about it was embarrassing. That's, all that revolves around the Knicks game. The Iran war is getting ugly. The Epstein files. They try to go after President Trump. He somehow or another is not involved in that. But you know what? That's the interesting part about the whole thing there. Okay? All right? Okay? More ugly. Gas prices are higher. The economy's bad. People are not spending money. That's all ugly. Okay. All right. Stupid never takes a vacation, and shame on you. Shame on you, Morgan Wallen. Shame on you for that. Shame on you. Shame on you, progressives, for all the stuff that you've been doing. Shame on you. And then shame on, well, like I said, Morgan Wallen for what he pulled up in Pittsburgh. Shame on you. Okay. All right. That was unacceptable to me. And it should be unacceptable to everybody. All right. Shame on you for that. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at Stupid Never Takes a Vacation. How about this guy on a United Airlines flight? Try to get on with a fake boarding pass. Oh, my. I got to sound the alarm. Here's another Stupid Never Takes a Vacation. Carnival Cruise flooding in some rooms. That's it, Carnival Cruise Lines. Keep it up. You won't have a cruise line there. Keep it up. And you know what's sad? You people go out there and spend your money on that. I don't. I won't. Never. You'll never see me on a cruise ship. Not after some of the stuff I've heard about. And I know what you'll say. Oh, that's just an isolated incident, Ralph. No, it's not. It happens. It happens too much. Too much. Okay? It happens too much. And that's exactly why I will not go on a cruise. And that Stupid Never Takes a Vacation. Okay? It's that simple. All right? I want to say hello to Danielle, who's tuning in from the Pittsburgh area. Thank you, Danielle. So on Facebook here, check out some more on Facebook. All right. We have a lot going, and President Trump, some more good, the bad, and the ugly, keeps going on and on about this peace plan. Not happening. Not happening. Iran is in for the long haul, and they're going to fight, and that's ugly. That is ugly, because once again, we may have to eat it. And if we do, that's ugly. If we have to eat it again. Afghanistan, Iraq, Vietnam, Korea, we ate it. We ate it. We ate it. Okay? We're going to have to eat it again. It's really sad. It's awful. I mean, and that's part of the good, the bad, and the ugly of President Trump, that we have to eat it like that. Something wrong with this whole situation. USA striking multiple targets in Iran after Hegseth says military. Pete Hegseth says has promised a busy night. Okay. Now this doesn't make President Trump. This is bad and ugly too. Here, as a new surprising take on a higher cost of living. I love the inflation. For real. You know what? I got voters' remorse here. I do. I mean, he did a lot. He brought Nippon Steel to Pittsburgh to buy U.S. steel to save the steel industry. He's done some good things, but there's a lot of dumb things that he's done yet again. Okay? Yet again, there are some dumb things that he has done. All right? All right, sports. There he is, Brian Pettit. How are you, Brian? Brian has his own media company. I'll put that up right now. There it is right here. I believe this is it. There it goes. Boom. Sports Break Media. Brian Pettit. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in to Brian Pettit and his stuff. He does a lot of shorts. He also covers NASCAR, San Fran 49ers, Clemson Tigers. He likes NASCAR. He gets into a lot of different things. He's on Saturday with us on the Saturday Sports Show, which is now called the Saturday Sports Blast. We'll be at 10 a.m. I'm working on a couple guests. Let's see if we can get one, maybe two guests on for Saturday's show. All right. All right. But let's go into what's coming up this weekend. All right. All right. First, it's going to be the Ralph Williams Show on 93.5 The Beach here in the Delmarva region, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. every Saturday. Okay. So don't forget that. All right. And let me get that off of there. There we go. All right. All right. So don't forget about that. 93.5 The Beach, Delmarva area, 50,000 watts FM. And we're on 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We are on 1250 up in Pittsburgh, 1250 The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial. And it's the Ralph Williams Show. All right, here it is.
And here we go.
All right, no, that's not it. I got the wrong one again. Here we go. What the heck is going on here? Losing all my videos. I am. I mean, I'm losing them all. I don't know why I can't find this one that I want. Ah, here it goes. It went all the way up here. Keeps moving around. Here we go. All right, the Ralph Williams Show, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. every Saturday as well on 1250 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial, and theanswerpgh.com up in Pittsburgh. And don't forget, you can go on Google and punch up the Answer 1250 a.m. And you can also punch up the the website or their website, and also Radio Stations USA, and scroll down. Ralph Williams Show, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Sunday with Tony Moreno on AM 1250, The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial. And then don't forget, on Friday, and every Friday, is the Sports Corner radio show with me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree on 620 AM KHB. Here we go. And I am also Acknowledge Me. All right. Okay, so that's on Friday, Saturday. I gave you the lineup on Saturday, but I did not forget that Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m. on 1250 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial, a Saturday edition of the Ralph Williams Show. As soon as I get it to come up on the screen here, I don't know why it's giving me a hard time all of a sudden. It's frozen up there. What are we doing? Come on, here we go. Nope. Not coming up. Ah, there it is. Oh, well, it was up on the screen. There it goes. Finally made it. Wow. All right. With me, Ralph Williams, Smoking Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree, every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m. And then on Sunday, or also on Saturday morning, we have the Saturday Sports Blast show. And as soon as I find that one, we're going to be all set to go. Here it is right here. The Saturday Sports Blast. There it is. That's with me, Ralph Williams, Pensman Sports, Brian Pettit, and Leo Haggerty. All right, Leo's from Amped Up Sports. Also, Brian is from the Sports Break Media, Pensman Sports, and myself, Ralph Williams, RW Media Productions, presents the Saturday Sports Blast, and that is every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. as well. So what a way to kick off, or what a way to do your weekend while tuning into RW Media Production shows on Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And this Sunday will be, or this Saturday actually, is going to be the UFL Bowl. We will talk about that. We are done with the UFL Weekly because the United Bowl's coming up. And so we're going to intertwine that. We're coming up with a show in July. It's going to be called Anything Goes every Sunday at 8 o'clock. We're going to talk about all different types of topics: war, cooking, cleaning toilets, whatever. We're going to talk about everything. It's going to be called Anything Goes. As soon as I get the graphics made up and some things done here, we'll get it put together. We're going to have that show. That's Sunday at 8 o'clock. We're seriously thinking about that show, but I'm not positive that it's going to happen. But Monday, and every Monday, on 620 KHB, the Ralph Williams Show, 2 to 3 p.m. in Pittsburgh. I have a special I'm doing about juveniles. So check it out. It's about juveniles. All right, here we go. It's muted again. There we go. All right. Don't forget during the week, the Ralph Report. There we go. It's the Ralph Report. And that's, whenever I feel like coming on the air and say, if I got something I got to say, and I might do one right after this show before I go on at 9:00 on Steel City Sports World on YouTube and Facebook with me or with Luther Dupree, Claudia Rosano, Smoking Jim Frazier, Big Rome, and also Fillmore. All right. Let's see what we got here. I think it's all right. That's my Ralph Report Pittsburgh edition, which means if I got something I want to talk about in regards to Pittsburgh, that's the Pittsburgh edition of the Ralph Report. All right, we also have a sports edition. Also, don't forget on every Monday night after Monday night, WWE Monday Night Raw, and after SmackDown every Friday night. And also, after all the WWE and AEW pay-per-views and maybe even TNA, we're going to get going there, the Ralph Report Wrestling Edition. Here we go. All right, that's all my Ralph reports. That's every one of them that I always do. And don't forget on Wednesdays, 3 to 4 p.m. in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the Ralph Williams Show on 860 a.m. WWDB. And then don't forget tonight, every Wednesday night, 7:30, Ralph's Opinion Show with me, Ralph Williams, the revolutionary, the visionary. I am Ralph Williams. All right. And here's that one here from the Ralph Williams Show. Don't forget to all across the United States in Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Delmarva region. And you can tune in on the internet on 93.5 The Beach, on 620 KHB. Their internet's still down. They had a massive storm and it knocked out their internet. They haven't been able to get it back on yet. But as soon as they do, you'll be able to hear it from across the country. But if you live in Pittsburgh, Western Pennsylvania, 620 has a very good signal, and they pick it up all across the area. So, tune in, get a radio out, or find one of them little transistors or whatever, go in your car or whatever you want to do. You can tune in as well. I'm Ralph Williams. This has been the Ralph Report. I'm sorry, Ralph's Opinion. Wow. This has been Ralph's Opinion. Until next Wednesday, have yourself a great night. And please, by all means, please be safe. Thank you.